Listen to this.
Look at that ASMR.
Can you hear that perfectly? You drink your Miller Lite and I'll drink this LaCroix Limoncello.
Well, we really are not from the same place.
Have we clapped?
No, we haven't.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans.
This is season 3, episode 9, Bad Faith.
Okay, Amanda.
We have a couple of things we need to discuss.
Yes.
Before we really get into it. The first thing is, listeners, if you hadn't noticed, it's the summer and we're doing a summer schedule.
It's a sit back, relax summer schedule, only dropping on Mondays.
Only dropping on Mondays in the summer. Stay tuned to how we deal with it in the fall. We just have some travel going on. We have some summer sunning to do.
We have some children at home.
Yes. Maggie has all 3 children at home for the entire summer.
I always think, I don't want to sign them up for summer school. I want to spend time with them. And then here we are, 2 weeks into summer.
What's great is that we now have a public record of you saying this.
I do want to spend time with them. I don't want to spend every single day with them.
Yeah, I know. That I mean, I think that it's probably for everybody. It would be
for
good.
everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Next year.
Yeah, they're all running. Those 3 kids just running around having the best summer of their lives.
They are.
But they're not into Suits yet. We're not watching. I'm kind of like,
You're like, hey, how am I supposed to watch this? And
they love the theme song.
they do. They sing it
all the time. Mm-hmm. Unlike someone who commented on our YouTube.
We did have a spicy comment on YouTube that said, "But you guys, that theme song is awful." And they said it like they knew us.
Yeah,
and like, if you knew us, call people in for the things they need to work on and call us out publicly for the good stuff.
Right, that should have been an email.
It should have been an email.
It's the only thing we want public on our comments is high praise. Okay. We got a review from Remu329.
Okay.
It says, Best Suits Podcast. Love how refreshing and effortless these 2 women are in their Suits banter. Makes me want to rewatch episodes. Definitely beats the other Suits podcasts out there.
Ooh-wee. Remu is throwing shade.
Thank you, Remu.
Yeah, but we're not trying to throw shade at the other Suits podcasts. That's very sweet that this person is comparing us, and I guess they've done their research.
I guess they love Suits.
Yes,
well, thank you, Remu.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other Suits podcasts, there is one that we are going to be submitting questions to.
That we are very excited about.
It's the Patrick J. Adams, Sarah Rafferty podcast called Sidebar, which we heard about when we were at the ATX TV Festival.
Yes.
This Suits retrospective. We got to see Patrick J. Adams. We got to see Sarah Rafferty.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see
Abigail Spencer.
We got to see Katrina.
Amanda Scholl.
We got to see Amanda Scholl. We got to see...
Oh, I forgot his real name, but you didn't know him because you haven't gotten that far.
We got to see a man who plays, I guess, a very important character who I have not met yet in the Suitsverse.
Right.
But everyone was very excited about him.
Uh-huh.
And then also one of the producers from the USA Network when it originally got purchased and was in production, which was fascinating to hear about.
Yeah. It was really great. It was funny because Patrick J. Adams did start to talk about the show, and then the moderator acted like, oh, maybe you shouldn't say it. He's like, what? Everybody here has seen it. Like, nobody would be here if they hadn't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, he was like, it doesn't matter if you have spoilers because no one will be spoiled by anything we say.
Yeah, because it's already, like, it's been done. And so I did get some nice reaction shots of Maggie hearing things Because I was like, you might hear some stuff today, and I just didn't know what she was going to hear.
I heard some very shocking things, and then I probably also heard some things that went over my head.
Okay.
Maybe. Because, like, in this episode, I was like, oh, I think that the moderator said a line from this episode that I totally didn't catch.
Okay.
So, yes, but I was laughing really hard because he was like, you're only here if you've seen every single episode multiple times. And I was like, I literally am on season 3, episode 8. I won't spoil anything.
No, you're not going to spoil anything. And actually, if you're sitting there thinking, I wonder what she found out, I can tell you as someone who obviously knows the show inside and out, they were spoilers, but they weren't the biggest one. Like,
they weren't even the biggest spoilers.
No, I mean, they talked about a cast member that, not the one that we saw, but another cast member that wasn't there that is a pretty big person, like, joining the show. But they didn't actually say as much as they could have.
Yeah,
knowing what's coming down the pipeline, not the Ava Hessington oil pipeline, but like what's coming down the pipeline, it could have been so much worse.
Yes. But it was fun to get the behind the scenes pieces too. And something that really stuck with me that I've been thinking about and sharing over and over again is how Patrick J. Adams and Sarah Rafferty were both let go from a pilot.
Yes.
Which is the only reason they were able to audition for Suits.
And they were both so down and like, what am I going to do?
Yes. And that Patrick J. Adams was talking about how he had to do the monologue from season 1, episode 1, when he comes into Harvey's comes into interview with Harvey, and he spills the briefcase of weed, and he's like, I will work harder than anyone out there, and how that's legitimately how he felt.
And he told that to the casting directors.
Yes.
He's like, I told them I will actually work harder than anybody else out there that's auditioning for you.
Yes.
Because he was like, I have to have this job.
Yes, I loved that. It just seems so hard to be an actor. The other story, Amanda Schull told about how she auditioned originally to play Rachel Zane.
Yes.
Did not make it because she sweat through her audition.
Yes.
Could not nail all the details of her monologue. So then she auditioned for every single walk-on role in season 2.
And didn't get it.
And didn't get any of them. And then they were like, oh, we wrote
season
a role.
1.
Oh.
Because she came in season 2.
But she auditioned for every single role in season 2, too. Season 1 and 2?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
she joined the cast.
Yeah, she joined the cast in season 2. But she joined the cast in season 2 because they wrote this role for her. Still made her audition for it. I'm just like, gosh, it's going to be so hard to be an actor. But then to see them all up there and know the life that they brought to these characters was a really special experience. Yes. I'm glad we went.
We were so happy to be there. We got to learn about To Doom, which is like a spin-off like media component of Netflix where you can kind of just like deep dive on like if you're like a super fan of any show. So they were sponsoring it. That was super fun. We also learned, if you didn't know this, that coming on July 1st, that season 9 will be on Netflix. So you don't have to make the switch over because there are some people who think that it just ended at season 8.
Many people. In fact, we've gotten emails about it. My mom has said it. Like, my mom hasn't watched season 9.
Which is crazy because the season 8 season finale is...
like, you think it's done.
It is a good... No, you don't think it's... I don't know. I think because I knew that there was a season 9 that had to switch over. It's a good season finale. It doesn't tie the bow on things, though.
So it leaves everything. So people are like, ugh, I have no bows
Yeah, it would
tied.
be a weird place to end it.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't think that it would have the fandom it did if season 9 didn't exist because of the way that they end season 9, the whole series.
All right.
I will say that.
I'm excited.
You want to do 3 episodes a week now?
I know. I want to get there. I was like, well, luckily, by the time I get to season 9, it will all be on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Super fun road trip.
DM us if you have any questions about it.
Yes,
because we could go on forever and ever.
Or email us. We'll talk about it. Somebody emailed us asking to help them plan a Suits party.
I'm very excited to see pictures.
Yes, we can't wait. We hope your Suits party is like super awesome and wonderful, and we would love to be your resource for all things Suits.
Did you see what they said?
We'd like to be your SME, basically your subject matter expert.
Did you see the reply? How they're going to do a Mike Ross memory game at their party?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yes. And they're also going to do a slam down the blue folder contest.
See who can slam it harder?
See who can slam it most dramatically. Yes.
I love this.
We suggested what did they do with the can opener?
Mm-hmm. And have you reenact it.
And have them reenact it.
Love it. That's so great.
Lots of fun part. Tag us in all your Suits
We
parties.
would love to. Please tag us in your suit. And also, like, if we can come to your party, if we're local, we will totally go.
Also, like, I have a clear schedule, so we're only doing 1 episode a week, so I could come.
We like to party and then go to bed at 9.
We like to party with our LaCroix. Let me take a sippy sip. Not sponsored by LaCroix yet.
Or Miller Lite. Okay, let's hop in. We have 2 storylines this time.
We have to do the brief.
And Maggie's going to do her brief this week, and then I'm
Yes.
going to do a brief next week. So we're going to alternate back and forth.
Yeah.
Means like, so this week I'm commando.
The firm is dissolving and everyone else is devolving into madness. Lewis totally loses his cool and almost costs the team a big W with a big fumble. And Harvey thinks he's got everything in the Hermes bags until he can't be the bigger man and pick up the phone to clarify intent and makes a big dummy baby mistake with Scotty, which leads to a big hunkin' daddy mistake with Ava Hessington, who is back and primed for revenge. One bright spot, we see Harvey and Lewis work together to snag Giannopoulos' business, and it's a super fun, cute moment in an otherwise tense episode.
That's true.
That is true.
Okay, sorry.
No,
This is true. But it is true.
it is true.
Like,
It
all
was
of
a
that
tense
was true.
episode.
It was a tense episode, and I forgot about that cute moment, which is kind of hilarious. I just watched it. Like, you got here when I was watching it. So,
I know.
yeah.
Let's start with the dissolving with Darby aspect, because this is where most of the plot points are in this
Ooh, I
episode.
like that. Dissolving with Darby. Now on TNT. Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, one other thing at the ATX TV Fest was alternative names that they had.
Oh, yeah.
One was A Legal Mind.
Yeah, that was the working title for a while.
That was the working title. And the other one that Patrick J. Adams pitched.
Ross Examination instead of Cross Examination.
Love a pun.
Oh, man. Nobody would have gotten that.
No one would have. It would have been a
Suits is
horrible
great.
name.
It would have been also hard to have been only Ross Examination fans.
It would have. I also did not realize until the panel that Suits is a double entendre for lawsuits and the suits they wear.
You were Sunday years old when you found out.
I was Sunday years old, and I thought it was just about the suits they wear.
Yep, it's okay. The more you know.
The more you know. Okay,
All right,
dissolving with Darby.
Donna is walking outside of her apartment. Harvey is there waiting for her. And he was like, hey, I'm going to give you a ride. She's like, you gave me a ride last night. And he is taking her to go get a new bag. Okay. And they're going to do a fancy breakfast. And he says, she goes, why are you doing this, Harvey? And he says, we've all been through a lot and we deserve a celebration. And she goes, well, speaking of, we're probably going to need to get you more than one handbag. So he says, I wouldn't have it any other way. And you made a note that this is a good boss.
I think this is such a sweet boss move.
I think any boss who gets you one or more Birkin bag is a really great boss. But more importantly, like the gesture of like, hey, I want to like recognize that we've been through a lot. You're doing a lot and I value you. And because I have a lot of money, I can buy you goods.
Yes, and this is something that you value too.
Yeah, she
Donna.
values like fashion and bags and shoes and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's like it aligns
And good
with everything.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Which I do as well. The good breakfast. You're more the bag lady.
I'm the bag
in
lady.
in a fancy way.
Yes.
So then we see Lewis just lurking outside Jessica's office like a shark, waiting to attack. And then he walks in, and he is not there about him. He's there about her because he wants to handle the dissolution with Darby. He says that she is so angry. She can't go in there when she's angry. He will be so cool as a cucumber because he has no stake in this. He can't get riled up by Darby.
Right.
Harvey interrupts this conversation with the proposal to split the assets. And he is angry, which just proves Lewis's point. Like, they need to have Lewis do this.
Yeah.
This whole thing is so tense because Harvey's like, you're the Washington Generals and I'm the Harlem Globetrotters, and you never beat me. I'm the person who's going to win.
But here's the thing. If you know about that, they're in the same like organization. The Washington Generals aren't allowed to beat the Globetrotters, and it's only happened once.
By accident.
Yeah, like they're not, because it's a show.
And you have to almost be better to be able to be bad.
Right. And Rob played for the Washington Generals.
Yes.
Our friend Rob Howe, he played for the Washington Generals. He has an amazing podcast, Diabetics Doing Things. But he played for the Washington Generals. It's like part of this thing. Like,
Yes.
that's the show.
Right. It's performance.
It's
So
a
it doesn't
performance.
mean that they're actually bad basketball players or lawyers, Harvey.
Yeah, we're putting on a show,
Yeah,
Harv.
put on a show, Harv.
Yeah.
And Harvey says, this is a joke. And Lewis stands up and he says,
I am not a joke. poor Lewis.
Oh, he's taking everything so personally, as he
Yeah.
should, because he's been really getting beat up by
he
Harvey
has.
Specter. So Jessica's like, listen, Harvey, you can't be rude like that to Lewis anymore because you're a named partner now.
And Harvey's like, what are you talking about? I was disrespecting him to his face. Like, trying to be funny. And she's like, come on now, dude. Put your name on the wall. It's not Jessica Hole in the Wall anymore.
It's not Jessica hole in the wall, hole in the wall, hole in the wall.
Yeah. A little Spectre up there.
And then Jessica uses this analogy. She says, I'm going to put him, Lewis, in at quarterback and then snap the ball to you. And I was watching this with Kyle, my husband, your brother.
Yes.
And he could tell I was like, well, so is Harvey quarterback? Like, I didn't understand this analogy. Mm-hmm. And he said a direct snap in football is where they snap it to the running back or to the receiver, and it's a decoy. So instead of hiking it to the quarterback over here, instead of hiking it to Lewis, she's going to give the ball to Harvey.
So Lewis doesn't even know.
Lewis
He's about to get
know.
out-snapped.
He's about to get out-snapped.
Somebody going to bypass him?
Yep.
He's just a little decoy.
He's not even going to touch the ball.
He's a little decoy.
He's not even going to touch the ball.
Yep.
Mike and Harvey are walking down the hall talking about the strategy.
They have so many of these tracking shots lately.
So many
They
more
got to
tracking
walk
shots.
and talk. They love a walk and talk. They really do.
They do.
They love a walk and
so
talk.
do
We
I.
love a walk and talk.
I love a walk and talk. Mm-hmm. And Mike's like, oh, you're negotiating in bad faith because what's going to happen is Lewis is going to handle the settlement. Meanwhile, Harvey's going to steal all the clients or at least steal some of the biggest clients.
Right.
Mike's like, whose idea was this, like, to do all this? And Harvey won't tell him, which means it was Jessica's idea. Mm-hmm. But Harvey refuses to acknowledge it. Harvey does acknowledge in this conversation that he did sleep with Miss America. A funny line here was, he was like, why does Miss America cry? And Harvey says, Miss America, when she gets crowned, cries because winners always want to win more. And Mike's like, no, dude. That's not why they cry.
They're crying.
They just got crowned Miss America.
They're very happy and excited.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could just cry because you won.
Not because you want to keep winning.
Yeah. Which brings me to my first depot.
Oh.
So the Miss America and the Miss USA are two different organizations. Miss USA goes on to Miss Universe. And that is the one that does not involve talent. It is I don't know if it's still owned by one Donald Trump, but it is that organization. Yeah. And then the Miss America organization is the one where, like, once you're Miss America, that's it. Like, you can't go on to, like, Miss World or whatever. Miss America, you do have to do a talent component to it.
Right.
And something that the listeners may not know is that I used to judge the local pageants for the Miss America contest. I mean, Miss Texas contest for the Miss America organization.
Dallas?
Yeah, I did. So
I bet it's huge here.
It is. And but they were like the regional ones. Like, I wasn't doing the actual Miss Texas pageant. And then I did get to coach a couple of the Miss Texas winners before they went on to Miss America to help them with all of their interviews. So
was that through the Comedy House?
It was right when I started doing it. And so I would go and coach them, and I would ask them, like, all these questions that I have asked on dates to people. But it's like, I'm like, I would also ask this to a aspiring Miss America. And so it was super fun. I loved that organization because you get to see the talent. So my question here is, what would your talent be if you were participating in Miss America?
Okay. I've thought about this because I did one
you're secretly
pageant.
Going to do it. You were a pageant girl?
I did one pageant. The Miss Lilac Festival pageant.
Oh, I knew this. Yes, Miss Lilac.
And unfortunately, I didn't have it didn't have a talent portion.
Okay.
But they knew I didn't have a talent.
Okay.
I got first runner up, but I think I was a better public speaker because I would always get sent on all the press.
Oh, okay.
The press things.
Sure.
But I could not sing at the Red Wings game.
Oh, okay.
Which
it was important.
The winner was a phenomenal singer, like a voice of an angel.
Yeah.
And so I think that they kind of knew that, and that would be a good piece of press as well.
Okay, so what would you do now?
So I thought I think I would do like a quick painting or something.
That'd be great. That's actually really cool.
It might be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that would be a really cool talent.
Yeah, because I think it would be different, but it could be fun.
Yeah.
Or I could like teach myself how to do those kinds where you do something upside down and then you turn it over.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, ta-da!
Ta-da! It's actually a picture of you, Judge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. What would you do? Dance?
Yeah, probably, except that, like,
They all dance?
Well, let's assume it's a pageant for people my age, okay?
Right. Yeah.
So then I would be fine.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're going to throw me in the ring with a bunch of 19-year-olds.
No. I'm assuming that we're 19
doing
the pageant.
I'd probably dance. I'd probably tap. Mm-hmm. It's a little more unique than dance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'd do it to mountain music.
That'd be great. On a table.
I did tap dance in the 4th grade to mountain music at the Candy Crocker School of Dance.
Did you win?
No, Kimberly and I were chosen to be like in the Candy Cracker Dancers, which is really for like high school kids, but we happened to be pretty good. And so we were dancing with high school kids, and we danced in the opening number to Mountain Music. There's a picture of me wearing overalls that cut off at my knee with pantyhose underneath them.
Incredible. The dance costumes are really...
The dance costumes that I have are...
out of this world.
Special, to say the least.
Yeah.
So
I get hand-me-down ones from my friends who have daughters who dance, and we just use them as
is what you're
costumes.
for the day.
Yeah, or Martha Jean wears them for... clothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, clothing. All right, let's keep it going. Now we're already off track, but it was fun to talk.
That was fun. I love talking with you.
I do. I love talking with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this podcast. Lewis and Jessica are in the office. He's a little sassy because he's bitter. He doesn't understand what's going to happen. And then she goes ahead and gives him the negotiations. And he, like, kind of freaks out like a little baby. He's like, this is lit-tastic. And they start talking about the Great Escape. And she's like, I need you to be my cooler king. Like, he kind of is like, he needs to chill, bro. You know?
Yeah, he needs to be a cooler king.
He does need to be a cooler king. Mm-hmm. He's not.
Lewis is so excited that he's being let in on this. Like, he's like, I get to be a part of one of these plans. Yay.
Right. Yeah.
More so than even being able to handle the negotiations. But he's like, I can for sure make sure that the client list never ends up on it. That's like non-negotiable. That's the one thing that he has to do. Be fair and not let the client list be a part of the negotiations.
And let's find out what happened.
Well, what do you know?
Well, Katrina's back, by the way.
Yes, thank goodness. I missed her.
You were wondering when she's coming back. Her hair's blonder, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's just, it's a little bit blonder.
It's Barcelona.
Yeah,
Barcelona
probably.
blonde.
Yeah.
Katrina's like, if Jessica wants compromise, she should hire a mediator, not a gladiator.
She's sucking up so bad.
She sucks up so hard.
Yeah.
Then she's like, give me an order. You're like the Hulk. Like, I can't keep you calm.
Yeah.
You're such a hulking maniac, handsome litigator man.
Right.
And he's like, I am much like the Hulk, but I will remain calm.
He's like, I'm not going to have any animosity towards the other side. And then he walks into the room, and who has flown across the pond to negotiate? Nigel. And he's there to win, and he calls Katrina Tinkerbell.
Which is offensive.
Yes. And then Nigel does the worst thing.
Oh my gosh. The worst thing he could possibly have done.
Yes.
He pulls out a whole bunch of letters that Lewis has written to Mercado, and he has never opened them and read them to her.
No.
It is a stack.
Yeah.
It's a thick stack of letters.
And then he rips up a portrait that Lewis sent. Lewis is like really riled up. And I will say, Whiskey was on the couch the entire time up until this point, and then he got up and started barking at Nigel when he did this.
Because Whiskey understands, as a pet, as a dog, he's not even a cat, but he understands the importance of communication. And if mail comes for Whiskey and you withheld that mail,
I never withhold his mail.
You would never.
No, he got a text message today, and I completely followed up for him because he was too busy.
Right, but you share it with him.
I did
that's
tell him, I was like, we're going to
right.
reschedule your appointment. We got a text, but I'm going to take care of it, and we're going to reschedule it.
And that's why he can trust you.
Yeah, he does, because I'm not going to hide that from him.
That's why Mercado can't trust Nigel, and why Mercado really did love Lewis.
No, and I give Whiskey pictures of me to look at.
Of course.
While he's gone, I have a picture of Whiskey.
Yes.
But like when he's gone, I let him look at all these pictures of me.
Yes. As you should.
Yeah. Nigel's not actually a great pet owner is what we're discovering.
I mean, if we didn't already know that from mock trial.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you can tell that he is riled up, and this will, in fact, come bite him in the booty.
A little booty bite.
First, speaking of booty, we see Scotty. She is back, and she is standing outside the Samsung office. Harvey is coming to poach Samsung to be one of the clients that he's taking over to the Pearson Spectre side, away from Darby. And she's like, you're not going to do that because I'm going to get my name on the door when I beat you again. So it's going to be Darby Scotty, or whatever her real name is.
Dana Scott is her name.
Dana Scott.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Darby Scott. And he's like, you can never beat me. And she's like, actually, I used to be in love with you, if you remember, but now I'm not because you've made it very clear you want nothing to do with me romantically. So now I'm completely undistracted, and I'm going to beat ya booty.
Yeah.
And then next time we see Harvey,
he is livid. He's like,
he's
how
lit
did
up.
you... Like,
he's lit up in a bad way.
And real bad. And then Lewis blows him off like, it's fine, we got the jet, we got the letterhead or whatever. Then he tries to explain to Harvey what happened about how Nigel tortured his own cat by not giving him Lewis's letters important. And Harvey's like, the fuck, basically. Like, if they could have written anything, that's what they would have said. He's so pissed.
Right.
He really fumbled. It was bad.
Yeah, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Then Katrina is watching all of this through the glass window, and she's like taking it in. This is her leader, her boss, so she knows she has to do something to pick up the crumbled pieces. Mm-hmm. Harvey storms in to talk to Jessica. They have to find a loophole. They have to look at the money that they are already owed, which means Folsom Foods, which owes them a lot. Mm-hmm. But Jessica's like, Hardman will not lift one single finger to give us an advance payment on Folsom Foods.
And they're like, it's not Hardman we need. We actually need Robert Zane.
Yes.
Yeah. Mike's like, I'm going to do this.
Right, because Mike comes in and drops that. They've all come to this conclusion at the same time.
Yes.
Mike, Harvey, Jessica. Mm-hmm. Mike's the one who's going to take the ball, get Robert Zane to sign over Folsom Foods money early.
So he goes and hunts down old Robert on the golf course again. Kind of mocks his body as an athlete's body, which is probably not smart. You know? Come on now, Mike.
Yeah. And that's how Robert Zane knows that Mike's there on business, not pleasure. Yeah. Because he's making fun of his athletic body. Yeah. Very rude. Robert Zane is like, oh, so you want me to just pay early? Well, that's not going to happen because this is not a part. I'm not going to be a part of these divorce negotiations. Right. And he's being a real dick. Yeah. But then Mike is a dick right back.
Mm-hmm. He's a big dick right back.
He's a big Mike Ross dick right back.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, really? Well, your daughter, Rachel, is going to be really mad that you said that to the man she loves. And he's like, Harvey Specter.
He's like, no, but when you mess with Harvey, you mess with me.
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da-dang,
he did, in fact, throw his relationship with Rachel in Robert Zane's face to try and get this negotiation
Which is kind of not cool.
No, not cool. He was mixing business with pleasure.
Yeah, I've seen here that you've noted that Kyle noted that Robert Zane is in The Wire. So Wendell Price is actually in. Have we ever actually talked about everything that Wendell Price is in?
I don't think we talked about what he is in entirely, but Kyle was like, oh, like, you know, the shit, and that's how from The Wire. Yes. He's like, it's funny because he was also in The Wire.
Yeah. Wendell Price is in some. We might need to do like a bonus episode and talk about all the fun things that these people are in. Because sometimes we talk about it, but Wendell Price is in a ton of stuff. Love him.
He's great. I don't love Robert Zane too much, but
Wendell Price is a great actor.
But he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. All right, so Lewis is now in his office. He's making these origami cranes, and Katrina respects that. You noted.
Yeah, she respects that.
Yeah. And she feels like she's kind of been left in the dark. She goes, the opera isn't over until the fat lady sings. He goes, this isn't the opera, it's football, and we're in the 8th inning, and we're about to lose. And, like, he says it so straight-faced, and she's like, yeah, you're right. Like, so does she even know, or is she just, like, humoring him? You know?
Yeah, it seems like they both are not sports analogy people.
Yeah.
And so they don't even know what game they're playing right now. But they do know opera.
Yeah, they do know opera. They also, Katrina's found a loophole. Like, if they can get new revenue from current clients, and that's going to help tip the scales in their favor. And in the meantime, to get them all pumped up, she gives them a little present.
She does. A mug.
So she just got lit up.
I love that.
Trademark came in on that.
She got it trademarked for him.
Mm-hmm. So it's trademarked.
She's a great second.
Yeah.
So Lewis is going to meet to get money from the investment bankers from Giannopoulos Holdings. He wants to get that new business, that new money. So he has relocated that investment banker's money. He's gotten his ex-wife's car back. He's like, now that I've done all these great things for you personally, I need to be the attorney at Giannopoulos Holdings or whatever the name of the Giannopoulos company is. Yeah. And the gatekeeper investment banker.
He's the second. He's his second.
He's the second. He's like, you want me to give you control of the Roman Empire? It's not going to happen. And here's the reason. You're a nobody. Giannopoulos would laugh me out of the room if I brought up Louis Litt as the person who should take over the...
so sad.
Yeah.
It does sound sad. So then Harvey goes and presents Mike with a check from Folsom Foods and says, hey, look what you did here. It's hard to believe that you got this. Turns out you're a better negotiator than I thought. And Mike's like, well, my girlfriend's dad's not going to like me for a little bit. So, you know, he hustled.
And Harvey appreciates that. He's like, you are a good negotiator. You threw your relationship under the bus for this. Wow, way to go.
Yep. Harvey walks into his sleek apartment. It's very sleek. He does give his keys to a lot of people. Like, all the women in his life have a key to that place.
Yeah, it seems dangerous because he makes people mad. Yeah. But who is in the apartment is Scotty. And she's like, you're not operating in good faith. Mm-hmm. You shrunk the whole pie for a bigger piece for yourself.
Yeah.
He's really screwed over. It could have been so simple, but instead Harvey's so hyper-focused on him, that he's not paying attention to all the people that he's screwing over.
Yeah. And she wants him to exclude Folsom Foods from the settlement, which, like, the whole point of them getting us money earlier is they needed to exclude because it would tip the scales in their favor. Then she's like, please, I think you should actually operate in good faith. And she calls him on his bullshit because she really needs his help.
Mm-hmm. He's like, how am I supposed to know that you're not going to screw me over? She's like, you just got to trust me on it. And he does. He leaves it out of the draft, and Jessica notices it immediately. And Harvey explains it like, if we screwed Darby over, he's going to come back at us.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm thinking differently now, like you said, as a named partner.
And that's not really why he's thinking differently.
He's doing it for Scotty. Yeah, and he's like, it's going to be the Hatfields and McCoys.
Which I was like, Dallas!
Yeah. It's not
Anyways,
Dallas.
Harvey's like, I want to turn the page. And Jessica's like, I want to close the book. So they're going to do it. They're going to move forward. They're going to operate in good faith. Let's just get it over with.
Lewis is with his mug and Katrina, and she's giving him a pet talk, and he goes, this is so stupid, it shouldn't say lit up. I thought it said it should say shit up, and you put shut up. And I corrected it to shit up, but maybe it's not shit up.
I don't know, maybe it is shit up.
Could they say shit?
They said shit. Yeah.
I think he says shit up.
Shit up. Lit up, shit up rhymes more.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more like shut up because you opened your big damn blabbering mouth and now you screwed over the firm. And that's why you're whining crying like a little baby.
Yeah, I have to look it up. I just corrected it, and I was like, maybe I was wrong.
No, I think it's something. He's sad.
Yeah,
the spirit.
We can agree that it gets one or the other.
It's either shit up or shut up. Yeah. Katrina's like, listen, you need to go to Harvey. Mm-hmm. It's not too late because hasn't he heard? Hasn't Lewis heard? And we're like, heard what? Right after Katrina's like, hasn't he heard? Donna hangs up a phone and she looks super, super nervous.
Yeah.
And it's bad news because Hessington Oil just fired them, which is going to totally screw up their ledger.
Oh, man. This is going to be bad news bears.
Yes. And Scotty betrayed him, is what Harvey thinks.
Yeah. But she didn't.
Yeah, she didn't. Donna shuts the door and tries to tell him, like, pick up your phone, call her.
Yes.
Try to see what happened here.
Yeah.
Don't just assume the worst.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm not taking the high road. I am not assuming the best intent. I'm going to go screw her over.
Right.
And he marches into the hallway, and look who has the answer to Mad Harvey.
Right.
Lewis Litt.
Yeah. Because
he's taking Katrina's advice.
So we're still trying to seal this deal with Tony Giannopoulos. So Lewis decides to go to Harvey and say, okay, like, he thinks I'm a Nobi. Like, you're going to have to go in and do this. But here's how you can do it. And so he presents, like, his badassery that he is with, like, the financial sector. And Harvey says, Lewis, this is brilliant. If you didn't have the balls to come to me, we'd have nothing. He said, I don't need anything from you right now because you just gave it to me. I respect you. You're an excellent attorney and a valuable member of this firm. Which is, like...
everything Lewis has ever wanted.
Yeah, it's all he wanted was for Harvey to say that. The bagpipes come in. They are literally playing. Yes.
The bagpipes start coming in. The music is like... like, this is, like, super...
Is really
and then the drums come in, like...
This is really it. And Harvey's going to go talk to Giannopoulos. Yeah. And he's like, go get him. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm bringing you with me. Come on, let's fucking go. Let's go get him.
Go.
I didn't say that. But
yeah, but they go with the drums.
Let's go!
The drums lead them off to the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. So Giannopoulos meets with Lewis and Harvey outside his office. He doesn't really meet with them. It's just more like they like flag him down. He's like, I'm football. This guy's ballet. You need strength. You need finesse. And then his second was like, he's actually kind of a badass. So they sign, and Harvey says, why don't we go celebrate with dinner in Chicago with Michael Jordan? And he's like, that's great. We'll take my private jet. And Lou's like, I'll figure out how to write it off, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Can we also talk about how many times people get just confronted outside of office buildings?
Mm-hmm.
A
lot of walk and talks, a lot of outside confrontation, a little bathroom business.
Just like, you didn't know I was going to be here, but now I'm standing on the sidewalk. Yeah. Because I would imagine in New York, many times there are often other doors you can go in, other ways you might take to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And how embarrassing if you were standing on a sidewalk facing north, waiting for someone, and they just walked right behind you and walked in the door, and then you're just waiting on the corner.
Right.
I think about that every time I see these confrontations, that I would for sure miss the person coming in.
Absolutely.
So...
Scotty confronts Harvey.
Right.
Yeah.
She is like, you big idiot. I had nothing to do with Hessington Oil. You screwed me over. And Harvey's like, no, I showed you mercy. And like, I trusted you. She goes, this is not about having the upper hand. Harvey, stop. I came and I asked you for mercy, but Harvey won't be vulnerable and apologize. He's made a big mistake and he can't apologize because apologies require vulnerability, and he can only be kind from a place of power. He can offer mercy but not be vulnerable, which I thought was a very astute observation.
Yeah.
Now Scotty's like, well, now you're screwed because I'm not going to dissolve this merger, and then you're going to have Darby, a named partner who can't even practice law in the United States because you screwed me.
Yeah, and then Jessica walks in and says, she's right, Scotty didn't do it, and we have a bigger problem. Ava Hessington is suing all of us for malpractice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good case.
Yeah.
Malpractice against them because they really did a lot of bad things.
Yeah. All right, let's hop on over to a little fun one.
Kind of fun. This is, I said that Mike and Rachel are endgame, and I still think they are, but there were some tense moments in this episode.
There
are. So it starts, and it's Mike and Rachel early in the morning, and everything is great here.
Right.
It's like the couple that wakes together stays together, which does not rhyme, but then Rachel takes off her shirt, and we see her belly button, and we see her booty in some underpants, and they start making out. And Kyle Austin, my husband, your brother, was like, well, no wonder the royal family didn't like her. Oh my goodness, there's so much belly button and nudity here.
Okay, I saw this in the notes that Kyle was offended, and I didn't see, or I saw the quote, no wonder the royal family doesn't like her. And then I saw the note that says Kyle Austin is offended by nudity. But when I read it, because I read it quickly, because again, I had to watch this like right before you got here. I guess I put it together that the wonder the royal family didn't like her because she makes coffee instead of tea, because it's right afterwards. That's where my head went. Because you're like, Rachel makes amazing coffee. It does say and shows her belly, but it's like, Rachel makes amazing coffee.
She does.
And in caps, no wonder the royal family doesn't like her. And I'm like, that could be a thing.
Honestly,
and that's not what y'all meant.
That's not what we meant.
I read it after
but
a day
now that you say it, I think that's probably real. That is more realistic. They probably don't care about her belly button, her nudity, seeing her like make out with someone on the screen.
They actually had some episodes they wanted to have pooled. Like they meddled. We're gonna get into some more goss later.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
They meddled hard. They went in and like Donna did.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. So we're back in the office, and Mike is drinking coconut water from Rachel's house, but
which
it's
feels off-brand for him, honestly. But
yeah. Also, this didn't look like coconut water.
No, I didn't.
Isn't coconut water like milky looking?
No.
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 But this looked like a Topo Chico.
Yeah, I mean it's from 2012 or 13. Who knows?
I don't know. I thought coconut water was more milky, but that's coconut milk, isn't it? Okay. Well, Rachel's kind of like, hey, could you not do that? Because when you're at my house, you drink the bottles out of my house's fridge, and then you put them back in the fridge, and that's kind of gross. And also, you put your coffee cup, you don't put it in the dishwasher, and you put it in the wrong side of the sink, because I need one side of the sink to wash. And it's like kind of like these nitpicky things, and it ends up being a really big fight.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Yeah, you said this isn't good.
No, it was not good. It made me I was like, oh no, they're nitpicking each other. This is so bad.
Right.
But luckily, Mike is a really great apologizer, because he sees her on the street. They meet outside.
He says he like went off and thought about it.
Yes.
It's like he was reflective. That's so sweet and mature.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so sweet, and he's so mature, and he cares about Rachel, and he takes the high road. And compared to Harvey, who can't be vulnerable, Mike is constantly being vulnerable. So I thought it was a big Michael move. He wants to show her something that I predicted.
He wants to show her Grammy's apartment.
Yeah. Do you remember when I predicted?
A while back.
I did. Mm-hmm. When they went and saw that apartment, and then Grammy died.
Uh-huh.
Rest in peace, Grammy. I predicted that they would move into this apartment. Mm-hmm. And so to see them, and it's this very sweet moment where he's like, I've only been in this apartment twice, both times with you, and both times the first time was like imagining our lives together, and that was so special. The second time was the worst day of my life, but I got through it because I was with you.
Yeah. So move in with me, baby.
Move in with me.
She does not give him an answer.
Yeah, she just needs a little time. And I don't think that moving in is going to fix him putting the dishes in the wrong side of the sink.
No.
So I think he needs to,
Yeah.
this isn't the fix.
There's a little depo for you. Is there something that Kyle, my brother, your husband, does that you're like, I wish you wouldn't do that?
You know what's so funny is Kyle and I say this a lot, is that I think we're both youngest children. We're both a little ADD. We have so many of the same tendencies that it's hard to get frustrated with something he does, because I'm like, I do that too. Mm-hmm. Or like, if given the opportunity, I would have done that. Yeah. So it's hard, and there's not really anything. Are there moments? Of course. But then I know there's moments of things I do that he would also do that he gets frustrated. But it's more like a general frustration with, why do we have to do things? Why do we have to put the dishes in the dishwasher?
It is kind of annoying we have to do that sometimes.
It's so annoying that you have to do that. Because then you have to then you have to wash, and then you just have to empty it again.
We just keep doing it.
I have to open drawers and then close them.
It's house hygiene. It doesn't stop.
I know.
Like laundry, you don't like get done with laundry. Mm-mm. Like you're not done. Because you're going to have to do it again. Every day. Sometimes like there's something breaks and you fix it so you're done with that. Right. But, like laundry is just, it's part of like hygiene. Like you just have to keep doing it all the time.
But I hate it.
I do too. I hate doing laundry.
I hate it. Do you hate laundry more or dishes more? Deposition.
Laundry. Yeah. I hate it so much. I have 2 laundry baskets right now full of clothes that are clean. You know what you should do? What?
I started doing Hamper. I'll send you a code.
Yeah, but I hang everything up.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Pretty particular about it.
You are. That's true. Okay, so then Rachel and her mom are talking about her moving in with Mike. Mm-hmm. I love their house, first of all. They're outside by this pool. There's all these flowers. It's just it's such a cute, fancy, rich mansion house.
It's a rich mansion house.
And her mom's like, oh, it's quick. And Rachel says, a big step. And her mom's kind of thinking, this is too fast. We don't really know him very well. Mm-hmm. Also, like, you don't know where you're going to be going to law school. Her mom's making very valid points, but they're the points that your mom would make and you would completely ignore.
Right.
But I think that they're actually pretty valid. And then Robert walks up and he's like, shit. Mike negotiated with me on the golf course, and he brought up you and said you were going to be mad at me. So I sent them a big check, and she is in fact mad at Mike.
Yeah, because he used that relationship.
Yeah, and that's so messed up. So knock, knock, knock. She's at Mike's old apartment, even though she hates coming to his apartment because she can only see Tess naked in the bed sheet every time she's there. Yep. But she's there to yell at him, and she explains like, she's mad. He manipulated her dad using her. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, was he mad? And she goes, no, he loved it. I didn't love it. Right. I don't love being your pawn in this game. Yeah. And I feel like Mike is super smart, but he's kind of dumb. Sometimes. And she mentioned that too. Like, he's so smart. He can remember everything, but he can't remember, like, where to put the dish in the sink. Yeah. He's so smart. He can come up with these great ideas to solve cases, but he doesn't understand why Rachel's mad. He's like, your dad's not mad, so why are you mad? And it's like, and she's the one that's being used here. Yeah. And he can't even see it. And I was like, oh, come on, you big, dense dummy. Yeah. And I was just really hoping that he would apologize. So later he's walking in the office and Donna tells him that Harvey's not there, and they have this heart-to-heart, Donna and Mike, about Rachel, because Mike was like, oh, is Harvey mad at me? And Donna's like, no, Rachel's the only one that's mad at you, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mike sees Rachel staring out the window of her office. Yeah. He comes in, he's like, dating me is complicated. He does acknowledge that. He said, take as much time as you need. She's like, I love you. And then she's like, I got into Stanford.
You know what? I didn't think she was looking out the window thinking about like what law school she got into. I was thinking she was thinking about this fight, about all that.
Moving in, all that stuff.
But she has way more on her mind.
Because she got into Stanford.
And she liked Stanford.
She does like Stanford. You know, Stanford is several thousand miles away, but you know what's close?
Prediction Town?
Yeah. Choo-choo.
Let's do a little day trip.
Let's do it. Day trip.
Okay. These are my predictions. Scotty and Harvey have to team up again to solve the Hessington oil debacle, and they are probably going to bone again. Okay. And I think that maybe this time it'll be with more vulnerability. Maybe it'll be more like making love, not just body mergers and acquisitions. Okay. And maybe like less pushing each other into things.
Sure. Okay.
A little less violent.
Yeah.
I think that Jessica's going to have to work with Darby too. This feels really yucky, but I just feel like the Ava Hessington thing is going to make them have to work together instead of just completely dissolving the firm.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Rachel would go to Stanford because her whole network and family is in the East Coast, and it would be really, truly running away from all of the things that she's built. Kyle says that he thinks that's how she gets written off to join the royal family.
Interesting from Kyle. Also interesting from you because you went to school very far away from your family and your network.
I did, but I was 18.
That's fair.
And when you're 18, it's different than when, like, what is she? Late 20s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
she's
then,
like a work network, a professional network. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Lewis is done with Mercado. I think that she is his greatest love. And even though we didn't see her this episode, we saw of her and how much of an emotional string she has to Lewis's heart.
Okay.
Lewis, I think, will throw Katrina a bone. Kyle thinks it's really weird that she's falling in line so easily, and I agree. Like, she became a super yes man really quickly. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to be someone's associate, but now she's like really gung-ho for Lewis Litt. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, what is her end game here?
Interesting.
She seems so fiercely loyal, but is that actually just she's using this as a chance to get ahead? Or is she genuinely like a prettier woman version of Lewis, which I didn't get that vibe at first. So she's becoming more and more like Lewis Litt.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Good observation.
Okay. Thank you. Well,
that was it.
That was it.
Now we're definitely more than halfway through this season.
Yeah, yikesies. I thought Hessington Oil was going to be done, but here it comes.
Right? I feel like you kind of thought it was a long-running thing, and I don't know that you actually thought it was going to for sure end.
No.
I mean, you did predict it was going to be one of the big stories, you know?
Yeah. I just thought that maybe something new was going to happen, and it feels like same thing.
I don't know. Maybe something new will happen in the next episode.
I don't know.
You never really can tell.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, and we would love for you guys to have fun with us.
If you're having a great time,
would you leave a review?
Yes.
Would you follow us? Would you like? Would you subscribe? Would you leave a review? It'd be so great.
Yeah.
We'd love it. Tag us. Email us. Let's chat.
Suits.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't have anything nice to say, you can eat it.
Please eat it.
Please.
Eat it. Just eat it. Like that cake in the recycle bin we posted. You can eat it. TikTok cake. You can eat it. They didn't really eat in this episode. I was going to try and incorporate it in, but I looked right through it, and I don't think they had any food, so you can eat it. Invisible food, you can eat it. It's awful.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, we got to make the next one a little shorter.